And joining us now to talk about northern corn leaf blight, we have pioneer agronomist Adam Owens is with us. Adam, great to have you on here today. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I appreciate the time. Let's jump in. Let's talk about northern corn leaf blight. Obviously, we have plenty of different diseases and insect pressures and things like that we have to watch out for. But I know northern corn leaf blight's been something that has become a nuisance for growers here in recent years, and it's something too that if we leave it untreated, it could really harm our yields in our corn crop. So as you look at northern corn leaf blight here, Adam, what are some of those first indicators that we need to look out for if we're out scouting our fields and we start to see it appear in our cornfields?
Yeah, northern corn leaf blight is one of the most common pathogens that infect our corn plants and get into our cornfields kind of year over year. As we look into thinking about scouting, some of the things that I want to kind of pay attention to is number one, just weather. The pathogen favors temperatures between 65 and 80 degrees and also likes to have leaf wetness, whether that's due from rain or heavy dews. And it really needs between 6 to 18 or just more than 6 hours of having that leaf wet in order for that pathogen to develop with those temperatures between 65 and 80 degrees. So as we start to warm up in the summer, sometimes our highs can be 90, 95, or even over 100 degrees. But if our nighttime temps or early morning hours are still between that range of 65 to 80 degrees, you still need to be on the lookout for northern corn leaf blight. And when I start scouting fields, some of the fields I first go to, because these are the fields I typically see it in first, would be my cornfields that are planted behind corn on corn, or fields that have had a history of northern corn leaf blight for a number of years. Um, Typically, by doing that, you'll start to see it, and you'll get a good understanding of what your pressure is going to be looking like. And as we think about northern corn leaf blight, it really develops typically from the lower part of the canopy and progresses its way up towards the top part of that canopy. So just be taking a look and seeing where those spores are located, and where those cigar-shaped lesions are located on those leaves. What we're really trying to do is be scouting and be mindful of that, the weather, our crop history, and then where that fungal disease is at in the field from the progression of the lower part towards that upper part of the canopy. We're wanting to really time fungicide application to where we're protecting our ear leaf and that upper third of the canopy, if at all possible. Because when we have severe pressure and that fungus takes over that ear leaf and that upper third of the canopy, that's where we really see yields get heavily impacted and heavily reduced by this northern corn leaf blight disease.
Well, as you alluded to there as well, some of those fungicides and the timing, that's going to come into our management plan if you do find northern corn leaf blight in your fields, and maybe making sure, if you have a history of seeing the disease in your fields, maybe having that management plan already kind of in your head in place if you do need it.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Um, Pioneer's done a lot of research over the last 15 years on northern corn leaf blight and other diseases as well. Got over 2,000 on-farm trials over these last 15 years that have evaluated fungicide performance. And on average, across those 2,000 trials, we see an average of 7.4 bushel yield advantage when applying a fungicide. But the most important factor in determining the value of a foliar fungicide application is first understanding that disease pressure. If we're hitting these fields on that later part when we've already got quite a bit of northern corn leaf blight lesions that are cigar shaped on that ear leaf and that upper third of the canopy, we might not have near the yield advantage by making an application then as to timing it a little bit earlier on that disease pressure through the field. So we're wanting to hit it early to get a good knock that disease down and provide some control over it. That way we really see a big benefit in our overall yield potential.
And of course, we think about that overall yield potential just with the way that commodity prices have been, the cost of inputs, et cetera. It feels to me that it's ever important to get out and scout in a year like this, Adam. It's important every year, but just especially with so much, riding on the crop here and on the line for farmers with everything, it's really important to keep an extra eye on our fields here this growing season.
Yes, sir, absolutely. The way the economics are shaken out for this year and really for the next few years is commodity prices look to be up, but also input prices are high too. This is going to really encourage acres of corn and soybeans to be produced. And the number one job for our farmers is to grow a high quality crop and raise high yields. So the best application that you can absolutely make to your field is your shadow and your boot prints in the farm, on that soil, walking those fields, because that's the only way you'll really understand what's going on in those fields and whether or not we're going to have to utilize a fungicide or an insecticide or plan things for harvest in a timely manner.
Well, Adam, great stuff. Any other final thoughts you want to share with us here today about northern corn leaf blight? Anything else you forgot to mention today?
No, I was just going to say if you do spot the disease, don't panic. Don't walk away from the field without a plan of action, though. Put it on a scouting plan. Be mindful of that management history of that particular field and others that you farm as well. And contact your local Pioneer agronomist or Pioneer sales rep. We'd be happy to help you out making a good plan moving forward throughout the rest of the season.
Well, it's definitely something to keep our eye on. Northern corn leaf blight. Definitely keep scouting those fields and keep watching for it here this growing season. With that, Pioneer agronomist Adam Owens, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us today, and have a great week.
Thanks, y'all too. Reckham Tech.